Hi, welcome back. So today we are going to start again like a continuation of yesterday class like Express.js. So already yesterday we discussed, right, like how the request will be on waiter, what APIs are, right, application programming interface, how it act the bridge between the server and the client. Okay, so all those things we have discussed. So today we are going to check with Express.js. So this is one framework, like as I said like previously, it is similar to the HTTP, right? So we are going to use this and we are going to create a server. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay, uh, okay. So introduction to the Express. So before introduction, like already I think you have seen like previous one, right? So it was like how the client will be giving the request. Like see, this is the slash red velvet cake. Client will be giving the request, and then in the body it will just pass okay quantity 5 and weight 500. So this is the things a client will be sending. That will pass to request box, right? And waiter will have all the list. Like see, this restaurant is have these many things. Like restaurants has red velvet cake, restaurants has pastry, restaurant has candle, but client has requested red velvet cake. Okay, so it's your job. This is the where Express.js works, like this menu. So the Express.js, what it works like, whatever menu is there, that means already Express.js has prepared food and kept it. Then it is displaying the menu here, right? Because without preparation of the food, he will not list this all menu. Like today, yeah, it's available. These three things are available, right? So based on this, so this list and this food preparation you have to do. Okay, so that is only your work, our backend development work is there. Okay, so make the list available for the front end people, and then prepare the food behind the scene. So let's suppose if I get the request of red velvet cake with this one, then server will connect. So these two I think things I told, right? So server will get any request and response via these two objects. One is request object and one is response object. So anything coming from the client side which waiter took the request, that is gone to this request box, and that box is collected here. So in server side, in request object, server will take all this data, like URL will they will take, body data they will take, and then server will start doing preparation. So they will prepare the data, and whatever the food is prepared or cake is prepared, that they will send to REST, and from REST it will send to REST box, and REST box it will go to client. So client will get that response. Okay, so and waiter will be there to show the list of the menu to the client. Okay, so these things already we have discussed. So this is one thing, right? So using that Express.js, now we are going to create this menu and we are going to handle that. Okay, we are going to write the code for behind the scene, like how the cake is going to prepare. Okay, so as I said, like Express.js is a framework in the Node.js, right? It will handles the connection or communication or HTTP request it will handle. Okay, whatever request HTTP request will come, it will handle. Okay, it has multiple things request is having, like routings and all. So we'll discuss what routings are and what are middleware, so many things. So here I've mentioned like see, it is the handles request and response, routing, middleware and templating. So what is routing, what is middleware and what is templating, we'll read on the further classes. Okay, so let's directly jump back and let's start creating the server using Express. So for that, what we discussed, like we need require Express because it's a different packages, outside package. Okay, so that is the reason Express will be module will be required to install. So before using the Express, first we will install the Express npm module from npm.js. Now once npm.js is done, installation is done, then we can go for importing this Express.js module. Got it? Now once we import the Express.js module, then what we are doing, we are using the method of the Express.js so that we can access all the features available or all the methods available. Okay, so this Express.js we are going to use, and then based on this we are going to do, see, this app equal to Express. So now app is enabled to do anything. So app.listen, app.get, app.post, all those things will be doing. So the port which the Express server is starting, that port we are defining, and then we are listening to the port in infinite loop. Okay, so it will be listening, and then later what we'll do, we'll try to integrate this first API. Like see, as we saw that client is requesting red velvet cake, right, with this. So that request will come to this. Okay, and based on this request, this will be getting handled. Okay, and in request it will collect the data. Understood? So how the things will work, how the things, these things will work is, so before that, let's try to create a project. Okay. So I have complete empty folder. So what I'll do, I'll just try to install. So npm I express. Okay. Oh, not that. Okay. Actually, first we have to do npm I init. Okay. So package.json will be created, and then we'll try to do npm express. Okay, done. Now we have got the entry of Express.js here. See, now we are able to, now we'll create index.js, or I'll just write it server.js. Okay, so that it will be more good. Okay, so server. So now we are going to use Express. So what we'll do, we'll just write let Express equal to require Express. Okay, now with this, we'll take the reference via app, and then we'll just write Express. This is just you have to follow. Okay. Now this app server which we have created, app.listen, it will just listen with 3000 port, and then we are just displaying the message. Okay. So the message will be like log mute starting the server via 3000 port. Okay. Amar, can you mute it? Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll just start the server. So just we'll start the server. Okay. Sorry, not index.js this time. It's a server.js. Okay. See, so server has started, but server is not capable. This much code is just like you have created your restaurant, you have created your hotel, but you have hired yourself, but you have not done anything. Like you are not capable of taking any request, you are any order, or you have not made any order ready. You have not prepared the food, so you have to prepare the food now, right? So for that reason, we are going to integrate this Git. Okay, so now we'll check how the client will send something and how that will be converted this way. Okay, so this is the thing. So see, again we are going back to the client. So client is asking the order of cake, right? So it's telling like, okay, red velvet cake I want, and quantity 5 and weight 500. So what it will go, first it will go to this way. So server has maintained this, because server has written red velvet cake means same thing will be displayed to the client, right? So this is the, so server sends, okay, this request has came, okay, red velvet cake. So red velvet cake has came. Okay, now let's start. So server will collect every data in the request. So request will be defined as request.url is one, where it will, server will get the URL. Same way request.body, if will write, then server will get the body data, like what quantity and what weight. So based on these two data, server will get the things like, see, request.body, and server will get request data. So that is quantity 5 and weight 500. So similar to that, server will take, and then server will prepare the things, Ceph will prepare the things, and then after preparing the cake, again via res, it will just send to via res.send your cake, red velvet cake. So it got created. Now after this, now this cake will be transferred on the table to the customer. So that is things, something is happening in this code. Okay, so this code defines of some of the parameters. So we'll discuss in some of the parameters next. So next, so what is this? Like what is this code about? So this code about, we have written app.get, right? So this is HTTP method already we know, app.get, get method it is. Okay, that is one thing. Next is this first parameter which you are seeing, no, slash red velvet cake. So that is called as route name or routing. Routing is nothing but it's like a navigating, or it's like a mapping. So routing is the, we can tell in a generic word, like it's a menu, like menu item. So which server can get the things and they can prepare. So this is name of the menu item. So red velvet cake. So this is route name. Now once this route name someone will ask, then what server has to do? So server has to take the route, okay, detail, and plus all the questions like their body data, their everything, like all those things request they will take server, and then that is, so next parameter is called as function handler. function handler. Function handler means for every route function handler will attach. Function handler is nothing but it's a safe doing in kitchen, these all work. Okay, so this is kind of safe doing kitchen in all work. So the main place where cook happens by request and response. So whatever request will be there, based on that it will cook happens, and the based on the response the cake will be passed. And this is REQ is nothing but it's a request data. Okay, and RES is response data. Understood, Amar? This code you have to understand. Okay, so whenever you have to send something, then what you will write? You will write res.send. Okay, whenever you have to take something from the client side, then what you will do? You will just write request.body. Okay, or request.url. Okay, fine, understood? So URL will be there, body data will be there, and on URL also we can pass some data. So those data also will be there. Okay, so when we discuss regarding detail in request and response, no, there is further slides where detail is there, like request, what is details, what data it can take request, and what data it can send as per response. So all those properties we'll see, okay, in the further classes. Understood? So next we are going to see like where you are, in which part you are going to do, and what and all things you are going to do. So that we are going to see. So as we know, client is designed using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. That is the page, like UI page, like as we already discussed, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So using HTML, CSS will make the design, using JavaScript will make the button, and then click of button, what happens? Your entire request will go to the server. So server we are designing, like we are designing server using Express, where what we are doing, so any data coming from the client, either it will store to the database. So we have to create connection between the database. So this is database MongoDB which we are going to use. So what we'll do as a server, first I'll create the server. After creating the server, I will attach the database. Okay, I will attach the database. So, okay. Yeah, hello, Amar. Anything, any query you have? Hello. Yeah, you have unmuted. Any query you have? Huh? Hello. Yeah. Can you able to hear me? You have any query? You have unmuted. That's what I'm asking. Okay. Mute it. Okay. Okay. So whenever server sends any request to the database, because see, server cannot handle entire things what client is asking. Means I mean to tell, like any request come from the client, alone server cannot make that request. Okay, server has to take help from other place. Means it's like this is kitchen and this is the waiter. Okay, this is the waiter. So kitchen, the main thing is there done, and the waiter will take the from the kitchen and it will give to the client. So something like that. Okay, so that is the reason I'm telling, whenever request come to the server, server will take that request. It will check, okay, we need something like some data from the database. So it will go to the database. It will take all the data and whatever data is required based on the request, and it will directly send to the client. So why this picture I have drawn means, like you should understand like where, in which part you are going to do. So you are going to do, your responsibility will be creating a server using Express. That is first responsibility. Second responsibility will be communicating, like creating connection between the database. So for that you have to install the database. Okay, and you have to connect your server to the database. That is second responsibility you have to do. Third responsibility, creating all the routes in the sense like menu. Okay, so creating all the menus with their handler. Okay, so all those things we have to, so this type of things like get request of velvet, get request of pastry, post request, put request, delete request. So all those requests you have to keep on making. Okay, that is one thing. Now next what you will do, you will talk to the database and get the things from the database, and then you will send to the client. Okay, so those all work will be there. So your work will be from this server to database. This much only we are going to study entire further classes. Okay, we are not going to study what client is sending. So for further this client is sending, instead of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, we are going to use Postman. Okay, we are going to use Postman. Fine. So instead of this HTML, CSS and JavaScript, we are going to use here or Postman. Okay, because we don't have our HTML, CSS page. Okay, so from Postman we'll try to call the menu of the server with the request body, and then from the server we will try to fetch the data. If database is required, we'll try to fetch the data from the database, and then we'll try to send response to the postman back. Okay, so these things we are going to do. So in this scenario which we have done, okay, in this scenario, so let's try to create. So app.get, okay, app.get. So this has two parameters. First parameter is routes. So route is nothing but slash red velvet cake, right? And second parameter is it's a function. Okay, function is nothing but it's a handle. Whenever this route comes, what has to be done? So it's a handler, function handler. Okay, so this has two things, right? One is req and one is res. Okay, so it's text. So whatever this data will pass. So what happens? Let's suppose URL is there, or let's suppose you want to pass something to the URL, some request. So what we are going to do? We are just trying to get the request dot query. So request.query, I'll tell you what is this request.query. So I'll just write input data, one variable. I'm just writing request.query. Okay, let's write request.query. I'll tell you what is query is. Okay, so request.query, and then I'm just writing console.log, and I'm just writing preparing the cake. Okay, and then I'm just writing rest.send. Rest.send, what I'll write? Cake prepared. Okay, and the name of the cake I'll just write as of now. Red velvet cake. Okay, so this much I have done. So whatever here I have done, now what I'll do, again I have to restart, because I have done any changes to this file means I need to restart the server. Because previously server was not having this red velvet cake, right? So now it entered, so again I need to restart the server. So I'll restart the server. Now let's, as I told, like we will open postman and then we'll try to trigger this. Now server is ready, everything is ready, right? Now just we want to trigger the request. So we have postman with us. Now let's try to trigger from postman. Okay, so let's try to trigger. Okay, so I'll discuss regarding what is postman also one day, like what is postman, what is collection, and all those things. Right now I'm just trying to call the request. Okay, so let's call the request. So okay, so server is running on 3000, right? 3000, and then I have to create I have to call red velvet cake. Red velvet cake. So this is the thing which I am going to do, and then what you have to do, this is the get request. Okay, get request I want to do. So red velvet cake, and I wanted to pass the data, but get will not take the data in body, right? Already I discussed with you, get will never take the data on body, only post put will take, or patch will take. Okay, so that is the reason I'm passing the data here itself. So I'm just writing question mark. Why I'm writing question mark means because question mark can be collected using query. Okay, request.query. So understand, as of now just question mark is collected for query. So I'll just write question mark. You have to pass like this: quantity equals, okay, just equals 5. Okay, and then another means again one more hyphen ampersand. Okay, and then you have to pass weight equals 500 gram. Okay, so something like that you are passing. So these two data we will collect in the request. Now to collect in the request, I'll just print. Okay, I'll just print log. Okay, log, like request URL came. Okay, so that came. So what request URL came, I'll just print with request.url. Okay, similar to that, I'll just tell request query info. Okay, came. So request query info, I'll just do, already have kept in request query in input data. So I'll just copy that input data and I'll just paste it here, input data. So I'll check this. Okay, so here you will see, like, so whatever, whenever client request, server will get the things. Okay, so server will get the things. This is server. Okay, just try to understand, this is server is running. Now whatever, whenever this request will get triggered from the postman, then server will receive, okay, this for red velvet someone is asking, okay, then server will execute this function. So once this function is executed, then what happens, query will be collected in input data, then this console.log request URL came. So whatever URL they have requested, that URL will be printed here in the terminal, and next the input data will be printed. So what input data we have passed? So we have passed here quantity 5 and weight 500. So two things will be printed here. Then normal console will be there preparing the cake. So this console will be printed and then response will be getting here. So in this place we'll get the response as cake prepared, red velvet cake. So this much will happen behind the scene. So let's try to trigger now. Okay. So I'm just triggering send. Now see, once I sent, I got 200 okay, and I got cake prepared, red velvet cake. So this is postman is client. So client is sending the request for red velvet cake with more information like quantity 5 and weight 500. Okay, with this information, server will create the things. Server will prepare the cakes, 5 cakes and a weight of 500 gram. Then server will send the response. Okay, cake prepared. This is the red velvet cake. Server will, so client has got the things. See, by default 200 it's sending. You want, you can set the status code also. Okay. Now in server side what is happening? Let's see. In server side what's happening? So server side, see, request URL. So request URL server side, it saw like, okay, red velvet cake with quantity 5 and weight 500. Now it converted this question mark and this one to normal object using request.query, because input data is nothing but request.query. So in query we got quantity 5 and weight 500, right? Now it's telling preparing the cake. So it will do the cake. So here what I'm writing, no, console that preparing the cake. This place only you have to do database talking. Okay. In future, database talking. So you have to connect to the database, talk to the database, go to the database and do all the things, and then you have to send this response. Now after that, the response is sent to the postman. Got it? Understood, Amar? If you want to change, see, if you want to change this 200 okay to some other code, like by default it is coming, so you have to do response dot status. Okay, response dot status, any code you can write, just you can write 201 and then dot send. Okay, then dot send. If you are any making changes, then again restart server. Okay, now again if you'll trigger, you will get, see, 201 created you got, because you have set here 201. If you'll set here 200, then you will get 200. Again you have to restart the server. Okay, and then send. See, you got 200. Got it? So like this you have to send, and then whatever message you are getting, this like this you have to send. If let's suppose you want to send not a string in the object format, then you have to just pass the object. So you just pass the object like status cake ready, something like that, and then we'll pass same like quantity 5, or else you can just pass here this one like request dot this one, so dot input data. So whatever input data will be there, same thing you will be sending. Hence that is only the things which happened. Now see, now you got a status as cake ready and quantity 5. So what is the cake? Means cake is ready. Now quantity 5 and weight as 500. So if you want to send some more data, then just pass like this. Name as red velvet cake. Fine. Again restart the server, again trigger it. Understood? Now see, you got response as, okay, status cake ready. What is the cake name? Red velvet cake is ready. How many quantity? So 5 quantity. And what is the weight? 500 gram each. So that's it. So client will get this and client will be happy. And this same thing client will display on the page. Okay, the same thing client will display on the page. So basically client has requested these all things and client has got these all things. Okay, and in server you have to handle these all way. Understood, Amar? These things I'll give you the assignment also for some of the things. Okay, so understand very carefully. If you have any doubt, ask me. Amar, any doubt here? Anything, any line? Yeah, any line, any doubt? These type of problems I'll be giving to you to make it. Okay, assignment. Okay, so your assignment will be, Amar, your assignment will be create 3 requests. Okay, create 3 requests. One is get pastries with quantities as 10. Okay, that is one. Second is post money 500 rupees to server. Okay, one post request is there. Okay, third is get what is that? Get candles from the server with quantities 20 and weight as 100 gram. I can just tell each has 100 gram. Okay, fine. So 3 assignment you have to do it till Monday and you have to submit it. Okay, Amar. So this I'm sharing. You have to do it and show me in the Monday. Okay, these are. Sorry. Yeah, so just you have to write. See, so just you have to copy this app.get. Okay, copy this and just paste it here. And then in place of red velvet cake, you have to write what you have to write pastries. So pastries. So you have to take URL of pastries. You have to take input data pastries like what quantity. So what I have told here, I have told to just pass to quantity 10. So you have to pass the quantity 10, and then you have to do the preparing cake is nothing but it's a preparing the pastries. Fine, like that. And then you have to make this all changes. You have to make pastry ready and what pastries is there. So all those things you have to make the changes. Okay. So like this you have to ha this problem only. Same using just adding one more. See, I have added one get. This is one, right? I have added this. Now you have to add for pastry. Now you have to add one more here for what is that? Candles. Money means posting money. So it will be request app.post instead of get. Okay. App.post. So money to the server via body. Okay. Via request body. I can just tell. Okay, because post will take data in the body. Okay, now that is done. Now get candle also, that 3 requests you have to submit it. Okay, I'm just pasting where I can paste, you tell this assignment. Shall I paste it in the chat? Copy this assignment from the chat and paste it somewhere so that you can do it. Okay, copy it and paste it. Okay, Amar, so Monday we'll connect by all these things. Create a server using Express, set up Node.js, one new folder. Okay, install Express.js. Okay, and then write the Express.js server code. Got it? And then create all these requests and show me on the Monday. Okay, I'll ask you to explain also what is happening. Okay, what all things you have written there. Then we'll proceed further. Otherwise, again, I'll give you some more assignment. Okay, so try to see the videos, try to understand the things properly, and try to do this. Okay, fine. So now after these things, what I'll do after these things, I'll try to connect the database. Okay, so that we can directly talk to database. Okay, so slowly, step by step, we'll proceed further class. Okay, thank you, Amar. Fine, we'll meet. Okay, on Monday.